Most of us will like support somebody in our lives as they're dying. Either we're the primary caregiver and we're there passing medicine and learning how to change people and change sheets and etc. Or somebody in our lives is dying and we're calling to check on them or hearing about what's going on with their care from the people around, or there'll be a sudden death or a traumatic death and we got to show up for it in some way. I think it's wildly supportive that we make space for our own personal relationship with death first so that we can allow the person who's dying to just have that experience. So that when I'm in the space of somebody else is dying, I'm doing my best not to put my fears or my concerns about dying on them so I can just be present for their experience. It's a hard thing to do, to be clear on our relationship with death. But there are a lot of tools that can be supportive as people, like if you're in that process yourself, think about your immortality, bring it to the surface, bring it to the forefront, because that's going to be, I think, like the key to showing up for your person, as opposed to just putting yourself in their shoes all the time and not actually listening to them and being present for them
Hmm.
in a meaningful way.
I'm curious, as you've seen countless people die gracefully and many probably not, I'm assuming, I'm curious, what are the necessary internal and external arrangements for someone to die gracefully? What are those you feel? We can take them both separately.
Oh, the practical things.
Yeah.
Oh, easy peasy. Healthcare directives, thinking through who I want to make my decisions for me in the event that I can't, getting absolutely clear on how I want to be treated in the medical care system in the event that something happens and somebody has to make decisions, but clear on what my values are so that they can use my values to really underscore the decisions that they make for me. I want to make sure that I have a plan for any of my dependents and my pets. The best place to do that is in a will for children, to be clear on who the guardians will be if the co-parent is not available for that.
How does someone do that?
But get clear
Write a
on,
will, like, and take care of that stuff.
well, you can go to a lawyer for support in creating a will. You can also do it yourself. I would suggest that the most important bits is that you think about who you want to carry out your affairs, like who you trust to say,
Yeah.
you should get this, you should get that. And then also make a plan for the either big ticket items in your life or the sentimental items in your life, because both those things cause a lot of grief and fighting after death. We also got to be clear on our body and our services. Like, what do I want done with my body after I can't use it anymore? How should it be, disposed of in some way, back to the earth or whatever our ideas may be? How I want my life celebrated. Am I trying to have a big party, or do I just want a gentle gathering or something of the sort? We also got to think through all of our documents, like our key documents. Where are they? Where are they? There are so many of them, but gather them in a place so that people are not going on a scavenger hunt after I die. They're going to have to go through my things anyway, but let me try to make it a little bit easier for them. Okay. So those are some of the external arrangements. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we could go much deeper into them.
Mm-hmm.
Finances and bank accounts and credit cards and social media. A lot of things to consider.
What do you think is the best way to bring this up to like do this with your loved ones, do this with your family, and instead of just spearheading it solo, which I guess you could do, like how do you think it's best to bring this up to like do it and address it with your parents or people you care about?
I think it really depends on who you're talking to, because my mom, for example, was just like, let's do it. And we sat down one afternoon and we did her entire end of life plan. My father, on the other hand, took a lot of coaxing and a lot of effort, and we didn't even make it all the way through. So we still have some work to do there. Some folks are just down to discuss it, and other people take a little bit more effort. One way that I found is useful sometimes is if there has been a death either in the family or the community, to say like, hey, this happened. You see what happened here? What did you think? Or you hear somebody bitching about something that happened at somebody else's funeral. You can say, well, what would you want for yourself? Or if you didn't like that, well, what do you want us to do for you? Or something along those lines, just to break that open. I think, family gatherings is an interesting time to bring it up. I would not suggest
Thanksgiving dinner.
That's what I was just about to say. Maybe not that, and certainly not before any wine has been poured. But like maybe doing dishes afterward would be a better time. A space that can create a little bit more intimacy. Yeah.
In that though, it inherently speaks to the uncomfortableness that we feel, bringing things up, talking about something that is all going to be experienced by all of us. Um, but I get it, and I'm fascinated at like the turning away of something that is inevitable, and that like what is that in us, and how do you want, when you look at the available options of how to be buried, what's your personal choice, and what do you think's like, what are the options on the menu for people?
Wow, so many options now. I mean, we have our two big buckets, right? We have burial and cremation for the bodies,
Yeah.
two big buckets. But with burial comes like a green burial, the opportunity to be laid directly in the ground with biodegradable materials around you, not too far deep, so that's not too cold and bugs can still get to you and do their thing. The earth can do what it needs to with your body. And then traditional burials and like a coffin or a casket, 6 feet underground and like a concrete vault, et cetera, et cetera. Then there is, within cremation, there's a million things to do with cremains, right? You can make it into lead for a pencil or a diamond. Some people are tattooing it into their bodies. You can scatter them places where it won't bother the earth too much. Everybody, please. But they can also be kept. There just needs to be a plan. Then there are some new ideas lately, like natural organic reduction, which I really enjoy, spearheaded by this person named Katrina Spade, where they essentially turn the body over and over and over, and over time it decomposes, much like composting. There is aquamation.
And then they what? Just put it in the soil, or
Yeah, then it becomes soil.
Yeah.
And then they can use the soil. People can use the soil. Yeah, cool, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Plant a garden with it.
Exactly. Put grandma on the mangoes. That sounds pretty good to me.
I'm not eating. If my friend invites me over, I'm not eating grandma mangoes.
No,
unfortunately,
those joints are probably really tasty. Okay, they've been blessed.
It depends. Was she a sweet grandma or was she an angry grandma?
Good question. Regardless, you have grandma wisdom in you. There's also aquamation, which is like water cremation. Essentially, the body is in a vat of lye, essentially, where all like the fat and tissue and everything, muscles are decompose over time. And then all that's left is a liquid. And that liquid can be used as fertilizer or whatever else with the body. I think a lot of my work is really about surrender, too, because the constant trying to figure it out is trying to create some context, try and make it make some type of sense. Like, again, using that human mind to try to encapsulate it or get context for this really strange experience that we're all having. And if we can just be with it as it is and take it in. And when I'm taking it in, I'm often far more in a space of awe and wonder, which is a place I really like to sit, as opposed to the cute little human, like, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a solution. I'm going to solve it. And there are a lot of things that we just can't solve, and I cannot bend the will of life in my direction all the time. Some things I can do. But the larger will of life, it's going to go how it's going to go, including how it is that I meet my death, again, unless I choose. But even then is me riding the wave, if you will. So the surrender into the I don't know, the surrender into like this existence is the thing that is a tough practice for many. It shows up, I think, when people fear what happens after we die, or have a lot tied up in it, because it's directly tied to the unknown and our lack of control, our need to surrender, that really gets panties in a bunch. It's tough, but we don't know what's going to happen this next minute.
I think that's a really important reflection, like that we simply don't know what is going to unfold in our awareness the next millisecond of our experience. There's no certainty we can provide to that, like, knowledge.
Anything.
Yeah.
To absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's terrifying if we're really present with it, but also it's a space for utter freedom if we choose that too. It's one or the other. Yeah, I try to get to where I'm going on time, and then there's something happening on the street, and we just got to sit back into it and be like, I'll get there when I get there. And I cannot do anything about it. And,
Yeah.
either I raise my blood pressure by trying really hard to still make it there, or I just chill and watch the other cars on the road. Yeah, I'll get there.